No,
Playing golf today.
Oh, nice day.
Where's your plan?
that is,
Ledgemont.
that's a little town council meeting.
Apparently, yeah.
Gary takes that seriously. He's not clearing around right there.
Kids these days, Gary, right? It's this Gen Z, the me time.
We did have a,
See?
we did have a counselor at one time that only come to about 4 out of every 6 meetings.
Yeah, I got also.
Oh,
This guy's here all the time. Yeah. And there's no.
Figure that was.
Okay, I'm going to start this meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. Ooh. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for coming on this beautiful day. Thank you all for coming on this beautiful day. I'm going to make a motion to approve the contracts for the fire and police chief. Second,
Second.
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
You?
Motion that we accept the tax assessor's contract with a salary of $72,280 and a 5% co-share of healthcare costs.
I'll second that
Second.
motion. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Announcements. Recommendations received from the Commons Review Committee will be considered and discussed during the May 20th, 2025 council meeting. Are there any other announcements today?
I'll make one on the audio, which is, we have a new microphone set up and hopefully folks will be hearing sound broadcast through the actual physical speakers in the room. And hopefully folks watching at home can hear clearly. So let us know how that's working out for you.
Yes, you can hear me in our pursuit of a more perfect audio experience. I hope it all works for everybody here. Approval of minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes of the April 2025 town council meeting as written.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Department head reports. Anyone want to take one out or?
Motion to place the police department, town clerk, building, zoning, fire department, town administrator reports on file unless anybody would like to pull one for discussion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Full business one. From Councilor McHugh on Bede, Broadband Equity Access and Development Program. I had a meeting with Michelle McGaw, Lou DePalma, the IT person here at Town Hall, Jonathan Gabriel, the school, and councilperson Talbot. So I just want you to read a couple of things if you're not familiar with Bede. Rhode Island Commerce Corporation. So if I mention corporation, that is Rhode Island Commerce, has officially kicked off the Broadband Equity Access and Deployment Program, BEAD, BEAD, launching its first request for proposals, an RFP, to expand broadband infrastructure across the state, backed by $108.7 million in federal funding. This program aims to connect every town and business in Rhode Island with high-speed internet. So fiber optics is coming to Little Compton, so we can get a stable internet. Just one more thing I want to read out of the RFP. It's their evaluation process. The corporation will review the submitted proposals pursuant to the evaluation procedures and criteria set forth in the RFP. The selection and award of the most advantageous proposals will be based on proposal scores determined in accordance with the evaluation procedures and criteria stated in the RFP, and by a selection committee formed by the corporation employees. The selection committee may seek input and advice from consultants or other industry experts as needed in its sole discretion. So which is important, which is why we had the meeting with Mrs. McGaw and DePalma. They need to advocate for Rhode Island. We are the most underserved town in Rhode Island. If you go on the FCC's website, or if you go under Commerce Rhode Island's website, you will see that. It's a couple families in Foster Gloucester that aren't too good either, but we are the most underserved town in Rhode Island. And we're going to have a window between May 12th, the proposals go in to the Commerce, the Rhode Island Commerce, and they're going to award on June 23rd. So we have a window between May 12th and June 23rd to have McGaw and DePalma advocate for our town loudly and let them know that our internet is certainly not stable here. And hopefully we can get the funds, to bring fiber in here that reaches everyone's house, everyone's driveway.
Sakana Point.
Sakana Point is pretty good if you look on the data. Surprisingly. Yeah. So it's a big deal. And I think it's going to dovetail with better cell phone connectivity if we can get ourselves a better internet. So I've been talking about it for a long time, and it's finally looks like it's coming, but we need to be the squeaky wheel in this window. Jonathan was supposed to be here today, but I don't see him. You were also in the meeting. I don't know if you have anything to add to that.
I would just say, I think it's a squeaky wheel that wants to get the grease situation. And so we've made it clear to Senator DePalma and Representative McGaw, and they're on board with advocating for us. I think, as I understood it, the monies are coming to the state. It's the allocation, and how much goes where is yet to be determined. And so that's why we're trying to be very vocal about it. And to that end, I would like to make a motion that we draft a letter to the Chief Strategy Officer, Daniela Fairchild, copying the executive director, Senator DePalma and Representative McGaugh, making our case for why Little Compton needs this resource.
Well, thank you. You stole my thunder on that one. That's great. Yeah, to let them know that we need a sizable allocation of their money. Motion second, and any other discussion?
Yes,
I have a hand.
I still have to walk up here, right?
Yes, you do.
So what does that actually mean as far as like cost to the citizens? Do we have to we can bribe or 5G this whole place up, right? And then it's up to the citizens to buy into the 5G, right? And pay for that.
That's correct.
Thank you.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. I got my new glasses here, so I'm a little messed up. Old business two, consider amending submittal to the town clerk for the annual financial town meeting warrant concerning the recent receipt of amendment by the pension committee. Increase pension committee article by $24,226 and to offset the increase of the council, increase the council will consider decreasing the capital improvement article by the same value.
Motion to approve.
I'll second it. Bobby, you want to say anything about this?
Simply that this represents what I think is the best place from which to take those funds, that is the town's capital contribution. What it could mean is that $24,000 worth of capital work moves from fiscal 26 into fiscal 27. But I think that's far less significant than not fully funding the actuarially determined value for the pension contribution. As a result of our financial unfolding this year, we did not have an actuary's report in a timely fashion. And when we got it, this is the change the pension committee made. I fully endorse the motion. Look forward to the vote.
Thank you. I have a motion on the table, do I? All in favor?
Aye.
With the three, consider, this is a meeting of acronyms, so you're gonna get a couple more after the bead one. Consider to vote to submit the State Revolving Loan Fund, SRF, with Rhode Island Department of Environmental Office of Water Resource as part of the application to Rhode Island Infrastructure Bank for funds through the Community Septic System Loan Program, CSSLP. I think we have two Tonys that want to talk about this, Texera and DeSisto. Who wants to start?
I will start, Mr. President. I was in contact with Greg Miller from Rhode Island Infrastructure Bank and Jenny Paquette from DEM, and both of them endorsing the program. But we obviously have to, the application has been in with DEM, and now we have to follow through with Rhode Island Infrastructure Bank. And in order to get the loan, we obviously need a town council resolution. And that's where our solicitor comes in.
Tony, is it what?
Correct. What I need is not only a vote, but the question. The only question that the infrastructure bank has is the amount, the total amount of the sum that you want for the loan.
I thought it was 300,000. Is that correct?
Well, yes, that is correct. Okay. However, they suggest that we put in for the two in return for the additional one. Am I correct? I mean,
That's correct. And that was the confusion that I had because they said it's either going to be 200 or 300,000. And I think their recommendation was 200,000.
300.
300?
Yes.
Do you want to explain it in layman's terms? It's a loan and how much someone can use and how much they can get. What's a 0% loan
Yes.
for how many years? I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yes. This is a 0% loan to repair failed septic systems that residents in Little Compton can take advantage of. DEM has approved it. The Rhode Island Infrastructure Bank has approved it. The question is what's the amount of the pool of the money that would be available for your residents? The recommendation is $300,000. Your vote should be keyed to that. Then the necessary documents can be drafted.
Got it.
So should it be 200 and 100?
No.
Walk up. Walk up. Oh, you can't hear? Can't hear him speaking or
Both three?
There's something happening.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you come through, but these speakers don't work.
I thank you for that update.
We've got a Tony issue here. Can you hear me now?
Especially when you're talking.
Can you speak into it now?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, you're better.
Your light is green,
Your microphone.
What's that?
right in front of you on that microphone, it's green.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Better.
Yes.
You need to just talk right on top of your microphone.
Oh, my God.
You think you need fiber optic?
I heard that.
There.
Yeah. So the recommendation is $300,000. That would be the pool. So the town enters into this. It's a program for your residents. But this is for the town to enter into with RIIB. So the recommendation is $300,000. I thought it was 200, but whatever your vote is, you go from there.
And if we're mistaken and later on we find out that 7 or 8 other people want to participate, we go back and say, we'd like to do this again.
Correct, yes.
I think we're fine.
So I'll make a motion to allow the solicitor to come up with the pertinent language for $300,000 for the revolving loan.
You two need
Second.
your microphone, please. We can't hear you back here. Just,
Well, the cord on this is too short. I guess I'll have to get next to my old buddy here.
Well, just,
Oh, please don't do that. Here.
Carol, what do you think of that, Carol? Right out.
I'll second that.
Any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Funny.
Thank you.
Cool. That's this. Old business for update from Councilor McHugh on the fire safety report regarding 32 Commons. This is the Oddfellows building. The problems that we have with the Oddfellows, as everyone knows, handrails, front and rear stairs, fire alarm wiring, elevator, front stairs, and sprinkler system. I had a meeting with Captain Watt, Council Lady Talbot, Ray Gomes, who is a consultant for Little Compton, a fire expert that we've had on board, and myself, and just to make sure we were all on the same page, which we are. So we need to contact the fire board to get on their agenda to seek some relief about keeping the first floor open. I made that call. I got sent to Keith Burlingame, who's the executive director, very serious fireman. And he says we need to send a letter to the fire board with a comprehensive correction plan to get on the fire board's agenda. So that is in progress. We're doing that. We have 6 months from our last variance, and that is June 4th. So we will get on the agenda. Mr. Burlingame left me with, it might not get approved. So I thanked him for that positive talk. And that's the update on that. Ms. Talbot, you were in the meeting. Anything I missed on that?
I think I would add is that we're continuing to work with Pat Drum to engineer and develop the sprinkler plan. And then once he gets his plan complete, we'll be speaking with engineers and trying to figure out where the tank's going to go, what the excavation needs are going to be. And that's actually technically for both 32 and 34, the community center. So both of those buildings are part of that ongoing planning work that's being done.
No votes needed for that.
do you need a vote for a letter? Did you write a letter? Since he said he needed one?
I'll entertain a vote to write a letter. We have a letter draft. If I need a vote from the council, we've sent letters before to the fire board.
I just
This
didn't,
is a continuing vote. I don't think we need a vote. Do we need a vote? This is an ongoing thing.
just asking.
I'm happy to,
Allow
Yeah.
council president to write a letter to the fire board.
thank you. All in favor? Aye. Thank you, Carol. Gary, thank you.
Yep.
Okay. New business 1, receive proposed ordinance amendments from the planning board for zoning, ADU, special use permit, specific and objective criteria. Upon receipt, to consider setting a public hearing date to hear all proposed changes. I'm here to make a motion to set a public hearing date on this issue. That's my motion.
And set notice.
Advertising.
Advertisement, 3 successive weeks.
3 successive weeks
prior to the hearing.
prior to the hearing. That's my motion.
Yes.
Do you have it, Carol?
June 12th would be your first available date that I can comply with having 3 consecutive weeks of advertising.
June 12th, I'll add that into my motion. June 12th. Do I have a second? Gary, second?
Yep.
Any further discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you.
Aye.
Thank you to the planning board for that nice, thick document. To consider moving May 22nd council meeting to May 20th due to a potential quorum problem. Do I have a motion?
Motion to change the meeting to May 20th.
Second.
Any discussion about it? Make sure we're all here. Thank you. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
3, receive letters of interest in the vacancy of the Historic Preservation Advisory Committee to represent the village of Adamsville. Consider date for interviews, and I will do just that. I will consider a date for interviews.
Motion to interview these 2 candidates, at 5:30 before the next council meeting.
I'll second that. That's a good time. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. More communication from Donna Pilkington, which I think I said it right, didn't I?
I meant 6:30. 6:30.
I know what you meant. 6:30. I won't be here at 5:30. 6:30. Thank you.
I don't want the 2 people coming and wait.
Right, 6:30. 6:30.
Amend my motion
You're
to
correcting the motion.
6:30. Sorry.
Thank you. Okay, we're good? You want me
Do you?
All in favor?
To the correction?
to? I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Communication from Donna Pilkington, Program Chair of the Secana Garden Club, requesting a member of the town council attend a stakeholder meeting and be part of the conversation for program concerning historic stone walls. I see that she's going to approach the microphone and talk into it, so Jennifer Flather can hear you,
And everybody else over.
and everyone else, and everyone.
Sure.
I just want to say that I consider this to be a real coup for the town. We have Professor Robert Thorson, otherwise known as Thor, from he's a PhD at UConn. He's written numerous books. He is like the Stonewall expert in Rhode Island. And some of you might know our garden club is doing some historic programs, and Thor is the last of the 3 programs we're sponsoring for the town's 350th celebration. When I called him up just a year ago, he goes, no, I'm too old, I don't talk anymore. But we started chatting, and finally he agreed to come, and he was just going to talk at night at 7. And then he called me up a few weeks ago and said, I can really come during the day and do a educational tour of typical stone walls and then have a roundtable discussion with stakeholders on how the town would conserve the walls that we have. And they're iconic. I mean, visitors come here and that's what they talk about. Rhode Island has the highest percentage of stone walls. Little Compton has the highest percentage within the state. So there's something that needs to be conserved. And what Thor said is it's important to have someone from government in there. So that's when I wrote the council this letter. So I'm really hoping that someone can free up some time on July 2nd. We've got inviting historic preservation, conservation, stonewallers, and interested citizens. And hopefully this will take off, but who knows in what direction. So I'm hoping that one of the councilors might find time in that busy 4th of July week to fit this into your schedule.
Thank you, Donna. I know you have behind you Luke Driver, who is an outstanding wall maker, and might want to add something. Good seeing you.
I started building walls for George McGurk at 14 and continued it to this day off and on, and then went back to it full time 6 years ago. The art and tradition, dry stone walling, is 5,500 years old. And my mission is to pass along what I learned from the old school wallers, particularly Portuguese wallers, to the next generation. And I work closely with Professor Thorson. Strongly recommend his book. It's called Stone by Stone. It's a dense read, but really, really good to listen to in the area too. So I just wanted to encourage the council. To me, it's a matter of civic pride. The reason we have more stone walls is because the soil is so rocky here, it was never attractive for commercial farming. And so what we have are the original subsistence farm walls that are left. Unfortunately, many of them are overgrown. So I think it's critically important that we look at this and found this was something to be proud of. Thank you.
Thank you, Luke. So shall we put that, Carol, will you, is anyone able to make that date, or we want to look at our schedules and get back to Donna? Is that what we want to do?
I would be interested in doing it. So if that's acceptable to the council, I'll raise my hand at this point.
Hand recognized as raised. Thank you. Thank you, Donna. Thank you, Luke.
Very good. Thanks, Linda. Thanks.
New business 5, recommendation from the Harbor Commission for the council to submit a letter to United States Coast Guard respectfully requesting the Bell Buoy 2A remain in operation due to safety concerns.
I want to make a motion that we send this letter to the email at the top and to John Kernan at readsenate.gov. This is what the fishermen and some do you want to speak on it?
Yeah, sure.
Hi, Ben Gothy, how are you?
I didn't even see it.
Right ahead.
Sorry.
Right ahead.
You can be alone in this, but
Not today.
Ben Gautier, Chair of the Harbor Commission. So Bellboy 2A is again on the list of Bellboys of navigational aids to be called by the Coast Guard. It was defended in 2016. 2016, had a lot of push with Council Russian and North. And had it again, it's on the list, and with current climate of trying to cost credits, it's an even harder thing to defend. And so looking at the rubric for this, they're asking us to state our value proposition for the Bell to remain and just submit it to a mailbox. So it's the classic faceless bureaucracy. And so I contacted Senator Reed for the help of the federal agency. John Kiernan volunteered to red dog this for us, keep us engaged. And what the request is if we can get a letter on town letterhead, the town's argument for it. I also have the harbor master, which is excellent. And then just yesterday, Bruce Chafee wrote a phenomenal letter that count by count to the rubric for why the bill. But I'd like to attach both of those to the town's recommendation, and then work with John Kiernan, his chief of staff. They'll put a filter on those. Then Senator Reed will now engage 8 points in the Coast Guard bureaucracy. So that's their proposal on how to best help us. We'd like to follow through with the council's will.
Thank you, Ben. Gary, were you going to make a motion?
So I'm going to make the motion that the council president sign this after it's put on a town letterhead with the other 2 letters that Ben mentioned, and get this right out, because time is of the essence. This Bell Buoy is back when they decided they might take this away. There was what we call the hooter at the mouth of the river, where the offshore boats would come from offshore. We would put our waypoint into that buoy, then we'd come from the hooter to the Bell Buoy. And if you go from the Bell Buoy, this number 2 buoy directly east, it'll bring you right to the tip of the breakwater. So it's foggy out. It's a tremendous aid to any navigator, anybody that has GPS. GPSs are good, there's no doubt about that. But especially when they had fish traps that extend probably a quarter mile off the breakwater. They don't have it this year, but they historically have had them. And you'll go to this buoy and, as I said, head directly east and bring it right to the tip of the breakwater. So this is very important to aid to navigation and to not only the Little Compton fishermen, but all fishermen and recreation boaters.
I'll second.
Do we have the letter that we submitted in the 15-16 time?
I believe we have that. I can forward it if you can. There's also, Bruce Chafee said that his uncle, John Chafee, actually participated in that deal as well.
So it would be good to see what we argued then, so as to reinforce or.
Yeah, I mean, I wrote this letter pulling the salient points out of that. The harbor master's letter talks about the past 50 years worth of experience, and Bruce Chafee's also does as well. But I'll forward both with and historical appeals as well by tomorrow.
So the council address, yeah, that'd be great. Thanks.
So I'll second the motion and very happy to sign the letter. Any more discussion? Favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ben.
I apologize. I didn't get a chance to raise my hand on number 4, Pilkington.
Sure, go ahead.
I'm Aras.
Into the microphone. Like, yes,
Can you hear me?
better,
That's one.
not really.
Aras Kadanian's Historic Advisory Committee. I believe our committee will be very interested to collaborate with your group for that. That's something we're looking at, not just historic buildings, but also historic sites. So I offer our services of the members for that mission. I think it's a wonderful idea.
So do you want a seat at the table?
If you invite me, I would love to sit at the table.
All right, it's nice to see a union there. Thank you. Okay, new business 6, communication from Leland and Holland concerning a plan approved by the town council, October 12th, 1982, while I was in high school, sitting as a plan commission. Request from the council to acknowledge this matter properly belongs before the planning board, who has jurisdiction over subdivisions. My discussion with the solicitor, he tells me to send this to the planning board.
Correct. There's a case on the matter. It's Monroe versus Town of East Greenwich, 733 A second 703. It's a Rhode Island Supreme Court 1999 case, which basically tracks the language that's in Mr. Holland's letter. Also, that's the language in section 45-23-51. At the time that this took place, there hadn't been amendments to the subdivision enabling act, which basically took away the ability of a town council to act as a planning board, which is what happened here. That's why it went to the planning board in 1999, as pointed out by Mr. Holland. So definitely make that acknowledgement. If you could include in your motion and any other actions that would be needed from the town to effectuate this, because I assume this is a title issue.
There's Chicago title will not ensure the lots that are to be given unless they're endorsed by the planning board. So that's the nub of the whole thing.
Any other actions? What? Any other actions? You included in my motion. Any other action?
Acknowledge that the matter is properly before the planning board, and further that the town take any other actions which would assist on the title aspect of this matter in case the title company says, well, we need this or we need that.
All right, let me make this motion. Make a motion to properly send to the planning board and any other actions where the town can assist on any title. I can't read my last word here.
Issues.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Discussion.
I asked Mr. Steers was here from the planning board. I want to make sure he's in agreement. I don't want to go there and find out.
Send them right up. Come on up.
Thank you, right. Sure.
We support what this activity is all about. And I just want to be sure that the planning board understands what they're able to do. Because the initial 82 ruling or part of the subdivision was that you didn't have to build the road. And in 99, when it was rewritten, it said that you cannot further subdivide. So the question the planning board has to deal with is this document and vote by the town council said there could be no further subdivision. So the planning board would like to be sure that our solicitor and the council wants to vote differently and endorse further subdivision of this property so that we can accommodate the request of the applicant. But when we were presented with this, we understand the objective and we like to support it. But we're not comfortable trying to subdivide a piece of property that currently says no further subdivision. I'll take it back. It says that you can subdivide one lot, the balance has to be in conservation. So effectively, you take the 8.3 acres and you limit it to one building development, which is not what the applicant has asked for.
Talk to the microphone.
Pardon?
Talk to the microphone.
Talking to the microphone. Sorry about that.
But can you also explain what property you're talking about?
It is flat 15 lot 6
Road.
off Swamp Road.
Thank you.
From the perspective of the planning board, we just want to be sure that we're authorized.
So are you looking to have from the council a concurrence that investigation and correction or change to this is what we wish to have you do?
Correct. My understanding is that the council voted to put this limitation on.
Now,
And the council can vote to take it off.
right.
And so we would like the council to relieve that burden on the property so that the planning board can act.
So that's not the motion. That's not the motion I have on the table.
Explaining what's before us.
I want to get down to what the issue is. Issue of jurisdiction. At the time that the town council entered into that, made that motion, they could do it.
They were the planning.
Subsequent changes to state law and case law have taken that ability away from the town council. At the time that the town council took that action, it wasn't as the town council. It was the town council sitting as the planning board, just like you sit as the board of licenses sometimes. Because there was a subsequent change in the law, that function that allowed you to do it way back when has been transferred to the planning board. So to me, this is a jurisdictional issue. The town council doesn't have the ability now to take any action on this because the action that was taken, almost 40 years ago, maybe more, that was as the planning board. Now that you have a planning, correct, that it's all, the ball is in your court. Completely.
And I think the motion I made reflects that.
I mean, two of the lots, it said created would be a minimum of 31 square feet and donated to the Commons Foundation. And I assume the Commons Foundation is going to make affordable housing there.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, to me, this is a no.
The objective.
Right. So this is a no brainer to me.
If I may further, to me, that's why I brought up the issue of the title company. Because it comes down to a question of title. If the title company had said, look, absolutely, the town council has to take an action here, that may be a different story. But from a legal standpoint, based on changes to the law, this is a jurisdictional issue. It's solely within the jurisdiction of the planning board. That's why I give the advice now. That's the basis of the motion that you just made.
Just a quick correction. I think it's attainable housing that you're doing, not affordable.
Could be either one.
Okay, could be either one. Thank you.
But that's going to be up to the planning board.
I hear that. Yeah. So I have a motion on the table. Would you like to continue? Go ahead.
Well, I would just like the communication to the planning board from the solicitor that they are empowered to remove this deed restriction.
Can you amend the motion to include that a communication from the solicitor will adequately convey the sense of the council on this matter.
The communication from the solicitor will adequately convey the concerns of the town council.
Correct. I'm going to break down and actually write a letter to the planning board.
Write yourself a letter.
Tony,
Please speak into the microphone. I get texts, really bad ones, that people can't hear you. So don't shoot the messenger. Talk into that microphone.
how many people have said they can't hear me?
Trust me, we can't.
Tony, when you do this, I want to make it, this is not a deed restriction. It's a plat restriction when it was approved to approve the plat. And so the council put it on and the planning board can take it off when all is said and done. It's not a deed restriction.
Yes, I
There's no
understand.
restriction in the title. That would be a whole different story.
No, I understand that, but as from a land use standpoint,
Yeah,
even these types of restrictions placed on whatever body is acting as the planning board also have an effect on the title. That's the only reason I brought that up.
okay.
Any other discussion on this? Oh, I have someone standing up. Here it comes.
First, I want to thank the town council for seriously considering this. This is a very big step in what we're trying to do for housing. And the second thing I want to say is the Stone by Stone book is a terrific book. I've read it twice. And anybody who's interested in that kind of activity should read that book. That's all I have to say.
I can add it's on audio too.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you. We have a motion on the table. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
No one opposed? Thank you. Thank you all. Business 7, request from the fire chief, the council to appropriate $16,000 of opioid funds to cover the purchase of all equipment necessary for the life-saving project of placing a solar-powered radio box and AED at the recreational fields located at 15 Meeting House Lane. Do I have a motion?
Yeah, I'll make that motion, but I'd also, after I get a second, have the
I'll second your motion.
fire chief just explain to the general audience and people that are watching that there's going to be safety equipment down at the fields down there. Just a short.
Quickly, what's proposing to install is a solar powered radio box. Inside that radio box, there'll be an AED and knock-in. It'll be placed somewhere around the tennis court area. We'll meet with the rec committee on a location. You open the door to the unit, there's 3 buttons, police, fire, and medical, or police, fire, EMS, whatever comes up for you. That's transmitted directly to the public safety complex. And the AED is both for children and adults, just different side pads in it.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other discussion?
This is an appropriate use of the opioid funds, I assume.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
No one opposed. Thank you. Communications. Request from the Beach Commission for beach capital funds left over in fiscal 25 to be encumbered for future use for beach capital projects. My understanding, this has been properly given to the finance department. Is that true?
That is correct.
Is there a vote needed? I don't see one.
I would suggest that it's part of our end of year decisions that the council endorses and that we could incorporate it into that. But we could vote now to say, yes, we agree with that and when the time comes.
Do I hear a motion? Do I hear a motion?
That motion.
The motion then would be to approve the Beach Commission's request to to encumber leftover funds in fiscal 25 for beach capital projects.
Second.
Any more discussion? I see a hand. To the microphone you go.
I simply wanted to know if there was an amount.
Yeah, I read it. $16,000. I'm sorry.
Beach Commission?
No.
That was the last one.
$64,118.75.
Oh,
Thank you.
oh, it doesn't appear on doesn't appear on does it?
The correct ones.
Oh, on my packet. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Can I speak to this?
Oh, yes, go ahead.
So the question is, I listened to Mr. Munch's the question of capital fund. Is it a separate fund or account that the beach commission's operating?
It has been an effort to accommodate the beach commission's concern that their funds, which, as I think you're aware, are funds that come solely from revenues that they generate, that they not be commingled with the town's capital plan. So they have capital appropriations on an annual basis. And like our capital plan, which carries forward unexpended funds, this is their method of saying, we would like that portion that we asked for to be carried over, and we have approval to do not only you spend the dollars for the new year, but also these encumbered funds from the prior year.
So let me just ask that a different way. So is the source of these funds, as different traditional understanding for the operating fund, is the source of this funds from their revenues?
Yes, it is. It is not tax revenue.
Okay, so the one thought I've had, and I've had this over the years, and I know the council has a lot of other financial things on its plate at the moment. But I wondered, given the nature of the capital demands for maintaining the beach, which had changed since 1939 when the Beach Commission was created, is whether we need to begin thinking about how we fund the capital needs for maintaining the beach, whether it should depend on those sources or whether perhaps it should be melded into the rest of the capital program. I just thought of that as food for thought, because I've looked at the law, I've looked at our charter. We're doing the same things now that we did in 1939. And
admitted, yeah. The administrator and I, a couple of years ago, looked at that and in conversation with the Beach Commission, began that discussion. But to your point, we didn't get to a decision that says, all right, let's do that. I think for the reasons you cite, that is a worthy re-examination, that we look at how we do capital work at the beach, because to your point, it's going to get bigger, not smaller.
And I recall my own experience. We have sometimes patched the revenue there. We did the Limits Fund, which substituted for funds that which would have come from their own funds or town funds. So we've been patching this need in other ways from time to time. So anyway, shut the thought.
Thank you.
Thank you, Larry.
You didn't vote. You made a motion, but there's no vote on it yet.
Do I have a second?
I second it.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Communications 2, request for the LC 350 committee for a 2-week entertainment license for a tent and activities that happen on Richmond Field on 85 south of Commons. Plot 18, lot 1, tent lot 3-5 parking, lot 28 fireworks area, August 9th through August 31st. Does anyone have any more information on this one? There's a lot of numbers in there.
Yeah. I thought I saw in here how long the tent was going to be up. It's going to be up in 2 weeks. Okay, so.
The 9th through the 31st.
So I think we have a tent ordinance that can only be up for a week at a time.
30 days. I'm not. 30 days.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
So the only thing that I would like is that they at least contact the fire chief in case it's a dry season, so that fireworks go off, that we don't have any fires in town. Because if there's wind, I know we had to cancel the fireworks down at the field here one year because it was a dry season, and we had them in the fall sometimes. So,
Chief Patrick, can you approach?
We've already met with the committee regarding.
okay.
And it'll be, fireworks will be decided that the day of the event, the night of the event.
So, go ahead.
Do you have any other concerns with this proposal being down on that
They
road?
submit for a plan and we'll measure out the area like we do down.
Okay, and then if they've talked to you, I'm sure they've talked to the police chief about.
We've already met.
Okay.
We'll meet again shortly.
So while I have you here, I haven't asked you about LC 350 and everything that's going on. What's your role with this? It's taking a lot of your time, but what's going on?
Not right now. It will come August and take everybody's time. Be all hands on deck for a couple of weeks with vacations and staffing the details of the event.
And we've allocated funding for this, and it's enough.
Yeah, I believe so. We'll see. It should be fine.
Thank you. A motion on the table?
Not yet.
I'll entertain one.
I make a motion to allow them to go forward with, adhere to all local regulations, fire safety codes and police codes.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Consent agenda. Anyone want to take anything out?
Motion put consent calendar on file unless anybody wants to withdraw one for conversation.
Second.
Now with the discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Entertain a motion, payment of the bills.
Motion to pay the bills as written.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.